thing to cover my mirror fell down as I was trying to take a thumbnail of this. Anyway, it's all good. It's all good. Right, I'll just wait for people to join. I think actually, bear with, because I think that might be a little bit dirty. I've got a cup of tea today because I am very cold still from being on the field and in desperate need of warming up still, even though I've had a hot bath and everything. So welcome to the sew along for the Amelia jacket, which is a sew over it pattern, and I've linked to it in the description. They have, I think, recently extended the sizing on this one. And yeah, speaking of sizing, I'm actually going to size up, which I very rarely do, but jackets at the moment are generally bigger, aren't they? But everything's sort of slightly oversized. And I think that for me, in terms of wearing it, I'll wear it more if I can fit a chunky jumper underneath it. So I'm going to make a 12. So I think that would be worth saying. Hi, Helen. Oh, hello in wet and windy Cornwall. Oh my goodness, yeah. It's awful out there. It was awful today. So before I get distracted by chatting and saying hi to everyone, I just want to say that, yeah, the pattern is in the description box below, as is also my Buy Me a Coffee page, if you want to buy me a coffee and show your support. And I would link to the fabric, but I bought it from a shop in Walthamstow and the high street, so it's not something you can get online. And I've also linked as well, just to remind you, because I've just started talking about it, that my Friday Sew Club at the New Craft House in London is linked also in the description box. If you want to come and join and sew with me physically on a Friday, you can. And you can book on it in the on my site, lisacomfort.com. Right, we've got someone from Cornwall. We've got Helene in France. Who else is joining us this evening? Let's see, whilst I get myself sorted with all the bits. Now, this is the fabric as well. I'm going to show you the fabric that I'm using. So this is the wrong side, so it's double-sided fabric. This is the side that I'm using, which is like a houndstooth in camel and black. It looks just grey there, but it is kind of a camel colour. I think it's about £10 a metre, and it has definitely got some wool content in it. I'm not sure how much wool content in it. I don't feel like I've given myself enough space to see. There we go. Which is, yeah, so hello in New Zealand. Oh my goodness, what time is it in New Zealand? You guys are ahead, aren't you? So it must be the morning. Is it the next day? Thank you to those of you giving me a thumbs up. It's always good old thumbs up to help people find us. What I'm planning on us doing today, just sort of sorting through, is the jacket. It's 8 AM on Wednesday. Hello, Wednesday. Oh my goodness. Good morning. So yes, the jacket is what I wanted to start the outer jacket today. So it's actually a really simple jacket to make. Hi Eileen, hi in Lancashire. So we're not going to do anything with the lining. I'll probably suggest that the lining, we kind of get to the same stage as the jacket where we get to today, and then next week we can kind of bring the lining into the mix. So I'm going to do the lining, and then I'm hoping also that we'll be able to get to attach the collar to the back neckline. But yeah, like I said, it's quite a simple jacket, this one, as jackets go, because there's no lapel. So I would say it's a good kind of jacket. If you've never made a jacket before, you definitely, give this one a go. All right, I've just realised I've not marked my bust start. Hi Vanessa, hi Carmen. So we're gonna do 12. I must keep reminding myself I'm not doing a 10, I'm doing a 12. Yeah, because I want it to be a bit bigger and a bit chunkier. And this is a close fit, because it's vintage inspired, this is meant to be close fitting. Right, oh, there's a circle there. I bet I was probably meant to mark that. Do you know what? I'll mark it later. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Please tell me I brought my pin dish with me today. Lucky me. Now, the last sew along we did was for the, what's it called? Jersey Alice top. There we go. And, oh yeah, I was struggling with pins, wasn't I? I didn't have enough pins. Right, I'm just going to mark those dark points, because even though I've put chalk on them, it's really good this, because for the first time in a sew along that I've done it recently, you can actually really see the right side and the wrong side. So just doing that, and then we're just going to do some stay stitching, I believe, and sewing our darts as the first things that we're going to do. So this I should just keep going back. I think I'm going to do 2 of these. I think we'll do the 2 of the Amelia jackets, because I think might do 3, but I think 2. We'll see how we get on. And then I think I'm going to do another sew along. I'm hoping to on Friday. Just depending on the weather, but I'm hoping to do it on Friday afternoon. And I was thinking of doing the roll neck, which is a pattern that Sew Over It have, like, it's an add-on. I think you add it on to the Ultimate t-shirt, so it'd be a nice easy make. And for me, it's going to be really a good thing to have, because I can wear it on the field. I really want to get some merino wool. Does anyone know where I can get a good merino jersey from? There used to be an amazing place in New Zealand, actually, I remember. But obviously I'm not going to be getting that by Friday. But yeah, where can I get merino wool? I don't know if Minerva maybe have it, but let me know. Because I think that would be really nice to make the roll neck out of that. I'm just trying to sort my pedal out. Oh, it's upside down. Got the time wrong on Instagram. That's hilarious. On Instagram, oh my gosh, that cracks me up. Apparently the sew along is in 11 months time. I obviously put the wrong year on, didn't I? The countdown. Oh my gosh, imagine if you've set that countdown. You're going to get a reminder next year, this time next year, to say I'm going live. God. Lisa. Attention to detail, not my specialty. So we're going to do some stay stitching within a centimetre seam allowance, because I believe along the neckline it must be a centimetre seam allowance. I cannot remember. I have to check. So I'm just going to put my stitch length up to 3. So we're sewing with wool or thicker fabric, so definitely want a longer stitch length just to help it feed through the machine properly. And also, yeah, because it would slightly go a bit slower. Also, I think I changed that pressure for some reason. So yeah, stay stitching is there to stop the curve stretching and just add a bit more stability to your curved edges. And we don't want it to show through to the finished garment, so we always do it within the seam allowance. Go. Now, I don't know where Coco's gone, but she was very much present in the last sew along I did. She was on this ironing board, which is her new favourite. She gets very excited when I'm about to do a sew along, because the ironing board comes out. She loves being high up. But you can't see it, but Poppy is just over there, and Poppy is absolutely beat, because even though she now spends a lot of her days on the field in my car, because she likes to have her naps. She's an old girl now. Poppy's 13, bless her. But she comes out and has a potter around, and then she goes back in the car. And but yeah, she's tired from the weather. It was battering it down on me at the field today, and I was, oh my goodness. It took a lot of willpower to stay out there and do a full day. I basically said to myself, look, just do as much as you can. If you feel like you're getting to a point where, you know, it's too much with the weather, then just come back but my phone died, and so I didn't know what time it was, although I can tell by the kind of light usually. Anyway, I got home, I was like, oh my gosh, I've done a really good long day. But I did get through 3 pairs of gardening gloves and 2 pairs of socks. So everything got wet. Right, put the back up there. We're going to just need to get a little ruler, and we're going to mark these darts. Threads going everywhere. So yeah, I'm pleased with myself. I'm going to sleep well tonight. Right, so there we go. I've got a notch and a notch. So let's line up our notches at the edge there of the bodice, right sides together, and then we've got that there. Now I think, I was just thinking about this, that I think I might open my dart, cut it open, rather than leave it so I can press it open. So when you're working such a thick wool like this, sometimes you need to trim your dart once you've sewn it, so you can get a nice press. We'll see when we start pressing it whether we're going to need to do that or not. I need to get rid of bent pins. Anyone else do that? If you've got bent pins but you just keep putting them back on your pin dish. That one. Right, let's sew this together. So reverse at the beginning of the dart, and then we're not going to reverse at the end. I'm feeding my nice chalk line that I've just done for my stitch line through onto the kind of, it's going through the middle of the foot. Go. Then we're going to trim those off, and then this we're going to tie a knot in the threads, 2 together. You can go away bent pin, and then we're going to push that knot down towards the fabric and tighten it around it. There we go, and then just trim that off. Yeah, I think it's going to, you can see it's just not going to press very well, so I think I'm going to cut through there and then press it open. That's what I think I'm going to do. I can hear Poppy slightly snoring. Bless her. Then we'll just do the same on this one. Oh, we've not marked it. Let's mark this one obviously as well. Is there any requests actually? Let me ask you, and those of you that are watching this after the live, please let me know, what would you like me to do a sew along of? So obviously I'm doing things quite selfishly now. I'm building myself a new wardrobe. I don't know, for the past few months, I have been feeling particularly kind of lost style-wise, and I've suddenly got this new kind of injection of inspiration about a new style, which is back to my vintage roots, but kind of in a Lang girl 1940s, more kind of trousers and separates than dresses, because that suits my lifestyle. But I'm making all those clothes for that, and you'll see the outfits I'm putting together. Obviously at the moment there's not much handmade stuff in there, it's just things that I've got already in my wardrobe or from Vinted that I'm putting up on Instagram. But let me know if there's something you'd like me to do, because obviously I've done a lot of sew-alongs in the past with Sew Over It, and so I don't want to repeat and be boring. But yeah, I also want to make things that I want to make. But yeah, let me know if there's something that I would like to make. A really simple blazer, and I say simple because I don't think the Francine is particularly simple, which is the kind of jacket for it blazer that we had at Sew Over It. But does anyone else have like a simple blazer? So maybe we could do that. But yeah, let me know if there's anything you want me to do a sew along for, whether it's a sew pattern or another pattern from another company. Right, I've just snipped right through there, and I'm going to press that open. I'm just going to snip on this one. So here it is, and I'm just cutting through just so that it sits better, it'll press better. And this, I wouldn't do this if I was using something that frayed, like a boucle or a looser weave. But this is like felt, this wool. It's not, but it's yeah, it's not going to fray easily. I just thought, oh my goodness, I need to plug my iron in and then pull him towards me. This could go wrong. It's fine. This ironing board's amazing. It's from John Lewis and I absolutely love it, even though it's massive. It's really wide, but it's not yeah, it's just really solid. Really solid. I really recommend it. It's just a bit awkward to drag around. Obviously, as I'm doing these sew-alongs in my kitchen, not in my non-existent sewing room, I'm having to get it out and put it back in again every time because it's just too big. What is that? That's that. I'm just pulling that thread off there. Right, let's press this open. And we need to steam with wool. And Julie, the wonderful Julie at Sew Over It, taught me something. When you press or steam wool, she would use it with a wooden spoon or something, or a special tool that's wooden, that you bash the steam out of it and it helps set it. I'm just using my hand there because that's all I've got, but you can see that's pressed really nicely. Clapper. Yes, a clapper. Oh, hi Gina. That's right, a clapper. That is what I could do with. I can't think of what that name is. But my hand is working as a clapper now. So we're banging the steam out and allowing it to set. I always used to say in classes that it's a little bit like hair. When you're curling your hair, if you allow it to cool before you take the rollers out, then it will set. And it's the same sort of setting stitches. You want to take the majority of the heat out before you move it, and that will keep it pressed much, much better. With wool, you don't need to do that with a lot of fabrics. Right, I should just check on the instructions that we're doing it to the rough order. As you know me, I like to go off on a tangent and then I'll confuse you. Right, yes, we are doing shoulder seams. And there's a small amount of ease on the back shoulder. Right sides together, so we're going to have to ease that in with lots of pins. So because we know that there's extra, now you can see it here. Can you see the difference? There's about 1.5 centimeters there that needs to be eased in. So if you know that one side's going to be bigger and need to be eased in, then you need to pin it from that side. So let's just pin the edges first. Wool is really easy to ease in. Even though it's a bulky fabric, it generally is easy. Yeah, I'm not finding that I need too many pins actually. That's enough and it's eased in. So whilst I have you as well, I'm thinking, I think I'm going to start a podcast. It's not going to be about sewing, particularly. It's going to be called The Diary of a Flower Farmer, which is essentially me, but it will be about running a business. I'm also going to talk about kind of all the pivots in my life that I've made, surprisingly or unsurprisingly, why I sold Sew Over It. Lots of things really, but all within the context of my flower farm and what I'm doing that day and that week. So yeah, I'm exploring at the moment all the equipment that I need to get. I'm hoping I'll be able to just record it on my phone in the field. and the audio will be good enough, but we'll see. Yeah, because I was, it's funny, I used to get, right, look, we're going to sew this 1.5 cm seam allowance, sorry. Yeah, sure, of course I will, yeah. I'll pop a link in it and I'll talk to you guys about it. But yeah, I used to get asked, not asked, but people used to suggest that I did a sew along. So let's stay focused on what we're doing here. So 5/8 of an inch, 1.5 centimeters, reverse at the start and at the end. You might want to take your pins out as you get to them, or if you're finding it hard to ease in, you might want to be a bit naughty and just keep them in. Run the risk of breaking your needle. And yeah, I used to get asked that, but there was, I don't know if it's still going, but there was such a good podcast. What was it called? The Sew, oh my goodness, like 2 successful women in Canada, I believe. I've had a massive blind, can't remember. Something so, what was it? Anyway, they did a really good podcast. They interviewed lots of different sewers and, you know, business owners and things. But I was like, I don't actually know what a podcast on sewing wouldn't really work. It's such a visual thing. So I was like, well, I'm not really sure. And then when I did the Lisa Comfort home brand and that sort of thing, you know, again, I sort of, yeah, I guess I could have just shared my life, but I didn't really feel like, this feels like it will be a really lovely podcast to listen to because it will have nature in there, and I'm going to describe what's going on in the field when I walk in that day, when I'm recording. You'll hear the noises of all the things around me, which is beautiful. And yeah, it's not going to be an overly like horticulturally podcast. It will be sort of about me talking about business and things, but there will always be a little element about that. And I'm hoping I'll be able to get people on that I can interview as well, maybe about their businesses, maybe about their changes in life that's happened to them. I feel like I've lived about 2 people's lives in the space of 5 years, so I've got a lot to talk about. So yeah, stay tuned on that. Right, well, let's press these open. So shoulder there, shoulder seam pressing open, make sure you got lots of lovely steam, and then clapper. Okay, stop it, Lisa. Small pleasures. I am getting my hair cut tomorrow. Just trimmed, not particularly anything wild, and dyed. And I don't know if you've noticed, I've got slightly lighter hair now. Well, I've got highlights in it because I'm trying to transition, make the slow transition to, not to going grey, but just that my roots are so bad now. If I stayed as dark as I was naturally, it would be too much of a contrast. So I have to say, it's such a big commitment. Every 6 weeks I've got to do it. It's like costing me a fortune. But my hair is my thing, so I'm going to spend money on that. But the ridiculous thing is, as I'm going to get my hair done, and I am then going on to the field afterwards, and if the weather is like today, which it probably will be, what a waste of a nice new haircut. Right, that's done. Now we're doing shoulder seam, side seams. Yeah, okay. So once you've done this, you could try it on and see, you know, check you're kind of happy with the fit. I know it's very loose because it's going to gather in. Just trimming that bit of the dart seam allowance off. You've got a notch here as well to line up with the dart. So a notch on the back to line up with the dart. So yeah, it would be a good opportunity to try it on and check if you feel like you need to, if you're worried about that. Let's stitch that one and then we'll pin the other side. 5/8 of an inch, 1.5 centimetres, and then you're just going to reverse at the beginning, taking our pins out as you get to them. Oh, it's so lovely to work with this fabric. I was a bit worried when I went into this shop. So I walked up, those of you that know Walthamstow High Street, I walked up from St James Street end, and it's on the right, this shop. There's like a haberdashery shop on the left, and then there's another fabric shop on the left, and then there's a couple of fabric shops on the right, and it's one of those. I walked in and it stank of smoke. I guess like the person in there who runs it smokes. But it was a bit like, come on, this is a fabric shop. So I was like, really like the fabric, but I was there smelling it. I was like, can I smell the fabric? And I can't. So fortunately, whether I'm hoping maybe it was just that day that person was being naughty and had been smoking, because I guess if they'd smoked in the fabric shop regularly, it would not be good for the fabrics and it would have sunken. I have to say how lovely it was. I have, up to date, I've been buying my fabric online, but it was just so nice to go and buy the fabric in person. Reverse, and then come down. So I've almost finished it's taken me a while, but I've almost finished my vintage shirt dress. Just got to sew the buttons on my vintage shirt, and then I'm hoping tomorrow I will get a chance to do some styling videos of how they're looking finished. So stay tuned for my Instagram. I'll put them on there so you can see the finished result, particularly of the vintage shirt dress shirt, because you've not really, because that was a hack, you won't have really seen, you know, it's harder to know what that looks like. I did on my Instagram also put up how I finished the Alice top, that final tab that you secure, but I will also put that together with some outfits to give you some ideas on how you can wear the Alice top. Okay, a bash, bash, bash. How are we doing for time? 7:30. Oh, we're doing making good time. Okay, that is good. We have the bodice done. Oh, hello! Hi, Noelia. Oh, nice to see you on the live. Long time no see on a live. Right, we're going to go on to the collar then, I believe, because we're going to skip the steps about the lining, because I'm not going to do that again because it's a bit boring for you to watch. It's essentially just doing the same thing again. I do need to put my interfacing on. So you've got an under collar and an upper collar, and we need to put the interfacing on the wrong side of both. This is my last bit of sew over it interfacing. I'm going to have to order some more. I haven't checked actually if they still are selling it. I hope they are. It's lovely and soft. It has stretched. Definitely stretched a bit, lace interfacing, which we know can happen. Just turn that steam off because I definitely don't want that steam on there. Let's trim this. Okay, I'm going to put that back. Actually, no, I'm going to do a cross on this to mark it as the under collar. And then the top collar. Yeah, it's really lovely and soft. It's not going to make a massive difference to create a really rigid collar. If you wanted a sharper collar, then you might want something stronger, thicker. I'm missing comments, I feel like. Oh, people are chatting more tonight, which is lovely to see. I'm definitely missing them. I'll have to have a look at what you're saying afterwards. Okay, top collar. Right. Right sides together, align the top collar and the under collar pieces with the two short edges and the longer outer edge. So it's the longer of the two edges, and the under collar typically is slightly smaller than the top collar, and that's so it encourages the kind of it to roll over and pull the seam to the underside. What's your seam allowance? 1 centimetre, okay. So just lining this up. There are notches as well to help you line things up. Which is good, given that we are going to be easing, or we're not slightly easing the outer collar. I'm obviously working from the under collar side actually, but I don't feel like I need to be pinning it from the other collar. It's not that much from the other side. Okay, so we're going to start here. So this is going to remain open. We're going to start here, pivot, come along here, pivot, up there, finish. Okay, feel that? So lining up with the 10 on my machine, or the centimetre mark on yours, whatever you've got, or 3/8 of an inch if you're working in inches. And when you get to that distance away from the bottom edge, you need to pivot, put the needle in and pivot. Needle in. Okay, let's cut our threads off. Let's obviously reverse at the beginning and the end just to secure that. Then we're going to put our thumb over like so, and then we're going to cut across. So making sure that we don't then stitch through. Just getting some chat there, people chatting about what they first made. And we're going to turn it through. Oh, trim the seam allowances down to half their width and turn the collar through to the right side. Oh, oops. Oh, my big scissors are up there. Oh. Okay, well, I'm just going to have to use these. I'm not going to trim it all the way down. In fact, I'm going to grade it. So I'm going to trim one seam allowance down, and I'm going to leave the other one so that I don't get too much of a ridge. So I'm just going to trim it down to half its width. I think that's better than doing it to both of them. Little tweak of the instructions there, based on the thickness of my fabric. Eesh. Say that, I've just started cutting too. It's taking a while. I'm using the smallest scissors. Don't mind me. Oh, the Chloe coat in your first coat of December, and you're in love. Ah, in Liberty wool. Ooh, nice. Well done, your first coat. That's a good first coat, the Chloe coat. I want to do a cocoon coat, in fact. I said I was going to do that and I haven't. I really want to do a cocoon coat. Sewalong actually. That's also a really easy coat, especially if you don't do the welt pocket, although for me a coat needs a pocket, it really does. Right, so we're going to pivot this. Hi Poppy, where are you going? You waking up? Yeah? Okay, this is definitely too much here. When I went to turn that through, this is too much. I'm going to just trim seam allowances, both seam allowances down at that point. Hey Pops, hello, you come here, you come say hi. Come on darling, come say hi. Blast from the past, Poppy. Oh God, sorry. Sorry, sorry Poppy. You alright darling? Yeah, here she is. She is in great need of a haircut. No, don't lick me darling. Great need of a haircut. Big furry ball, aren't you? Yeah, alright darling, it's not very comfy for you. Anyway, Poppy says hi. What have I done? Oh, there we go. Just trim those off. Ah. Oh, Poppy. So Poppy was, when did I get Poppy? I got her, I had my first shop, I hadn't had so over a year and I got Poppy. She has literally been with us the whole time, hasn't she? I tell you, she's so much happier out in the countryside, being in a field. She just is such an anxious, or she was such an anxious dog in London. And she's like a different dog here. Just much, much happier. Makes me sad because she's lived the majority of her life in London. But it's interesting because it's she's like me. I'm exactly the same. I'm much happier out of London. I love going into London and I live near enough that I do that. But ooh, there's some good chats about fabrics. Ooh, I'm missing the chats. Right, under collar, there we go. Right, we're gonna now press this. So I just teased the point out there with a pin. And now I'm gonna press and I'm gonna roll it so that the seam is on the under collar side. It's a bit of a weird angle me doing this. Oh, it's so lovely to see you guys chatting to each other. Yay! The gang's back. Oh, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Probably shouldn't be doing it like that. This wool is so so good though. It just, yeah, it seems to take a lot more. I'm pressing down very hard by this way, I should say at that point. I'm not stretching it. Okay. Right, so now we're just going to machine tack this together, the open edges. So I'll just run some pins along there and we'll just stitch this closed with a long stitch length. Now this is, I should say, it's got to be within the centimetre seam. Did I say that? Yeah, within the centimetre seam allowance. It's just to make it easy for us to then attach it to the neckline of the jacket. Which is the next step we're going to do. I'm just checking, touching the collar. The ends of the collar will meet the notch on the neckline of the jacket. Okay, so let's, no, I don't seem to have a notch. Let's have a look. That is the back. That is the front, and no, I've not cut the notch in, so let's just do that. Go, yeah, there we go. Just put a pin in so I can find that easily. And the same on here. Oops, wrong bit, that's the shoulder seam. Oh dear. There we go. Sorry. Right. Okay, so jacket, right side out. Collar, under collar side is going to go down. So that's going to go face down. So we're going to line up the edge of the collar there with that notch that we've just cut in. You've also got a notch to line up at the shoulder seam. Just make sure that I always put 2 pins at the shoulder seam to keep that pressed open so that it doesn't buckle back on itself. And then the same on that, just pin that shoulder seam and then we'll fill in with pins afterwards. What are we sewing it together? Centimetre seam allowance. Okay. Take out those pins that mark the notch. Put it back if you have had it on machine tack. Just pop that back. Oh no, we haven't put pins in between. Whoops. Whoopsie whoopsie. Let's put a pin in here, and we've not pinned here, have we? Careful. Just need that to come a bit. This interfacing is stretched there. I should have trimmed that off because it's deceiving me. Oh, this is going to be really warm, this is. Okay, so put back to your stitch length 3, starting at the edge of the collar, lining up with the 1 centimetre seam allowance. Really good reverse at the beginning. Oops, take your pins out as you get to them. So you just check when you come up to that shoulder seam that the shoulder seam is still pressed open. Sorry, it's a bit bulky, so I'm trying to concentrate. I'm having to hold it quite hard here just to push, so I'm sort of pushing down, not restricting it from being fed through the machine, but I'm just pushing down just to hold it when I take the pins out because it is quite thick. I don't want things to move, although the beauty of wool is it generally sticks. Typical. I forgot to tell him that I was doing a sew along. We don't talk every night. But if Jazzy wants to chat, we do. And she's with her dad. Okay. That is it. Oh. Hey. Hey in Utah. Oh, there's so many lovely comments today. I'm going to have to make sure I read through them afterwards. Right, this is the point that I wanted to get to tonight. I put it on. Obviously we've not got sleeves. But already, context, Ooh, da, 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 da. I'm gonna love wearing this. So we have still got to do our facing. So we're gonna, why don't we, if we go away, those of you that are watching this and making it, go away and do your facing. So you've got your back neck facing and you've got your front facing here. So if you go and do your facing, interfacing and drawing them at the shoulder seams, because then we can attach the facing together. So do that, do your lining, there we go. And then we'll definitely put the zip in together next week, and put the facing on after we've put the zip in. The sleeves, I'm probably not going to do the sleeves with you because I might just sew them up before, because the sleeves, there's nothing particularly snazzy about them. There are cuffs though. I kind of wanted to do the elastic bit with you, but I just don't know if that's going to happen. I think we're going to have to do the lining. So we might end up doing 3 of these, just because it would be nice to do the elastic bit and finishing off the cuff. We will see. Anyway, thank you for joining me tonight. Please do give me a thumbs up, because that helps other people find it, and subscribe to this channel. If you want to show your support, then you can buy me a coffee. The link is in the description box. And just to explain that, the buy me a coffee, it's not essentially buy me a coffee, but it's, yeah, financially showing your support. Yeah, thanks for being so vocal today and chatting. It really means a lot to me seeing you all chat, especially when you're chatting to each other as well. And I'll be back on Friday, I think, but stay tuned on my Instagram and I'll tell you about what time on Friday that will be. And yeah, I need to get hold of some fabric, don't I? Anyway,